Let's call to order the Belville Board of Commissioners regular meeting, 6:30 p.m. Monday, November 14th, 2022. We stand for the invocation of pledge of allegiance. Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we want to thank you for many blessings you have bestowed upon us, Lord. We ask that you give us the ability and the mind to do the best with the citizens of our town. Watch over all that are here, make sure they get safely home, Lord. In most precious name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We got a full board tonight, and we got a nice audience tonight, so that is a good thing. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Being veterans or have been veterans, thankful for their service, and we had this time through the weekend Friday through this to celebrate what they have done for the nation. Moving on the agenda, under item 3, approval of the agenda, the commission have an opportunity to look over the agenda. If there's no changes or modifications to that agenda, could I have a motion that we accept? Motion to accept the agenda. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Move to item 4, all items on the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda considered routine to be enacted by one motion without discussion. If a member of the governing body requests discussion of an item will be removed from consent agenda and considered separately. If all the commissioners have an opportunity to look at the consent agenda, if there is no changes or comments, could I have a motion we accept it in its entirety? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, under item 5, public comments. I don't see that anybody has signed up, but if anybody would like to make any comments, our board is always open to any comments from our citizens or the public. If not, I don't see any reason to open it up to public comment. So we'll move on to the next item. Under item 6, we have a honored guest tonight, Dr. Kenneth M. If I can say it right,
We just try.
Hayden.
Hold
That's okay. And I said hard trying to get that right.
No, that's okay.
Sir, we'd like to welcome you here. He is at the helm of the UNCW Center for Marine Science. He's known worldwide. He's done a lot of great things. You have a very impressive resume, sir. I enjoyed that. He holds a PhD from the University of Texas, Austin, an undergraduate degree from Wake Forest University, where he was honored as a 2002 distinguished alumni lecturer. So, sir, thank you for being here tonight and giving us your time, and the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners and citizens. Very much appreciate the opportunity. So I just moved into the area about a year ago and took over at the Center for Marine Science. And I just wanted to reach out. I'm trying to reach out to some of the communities in the area and just introduce the center and what we do and how there might be connections and partnerships. So if we can just go to the next slide. Yeah, so just to give you a reminder, the Center for Marine Science is part of UNCW. It's been around for about 50 years. We have a separate campus about 15 minutes south of the main campus. We also do things like a lot of aquaculture, shellfish hatcheries, and some of the other stuff I'll talk about. And one of our main goals is trying to help ensure safe and healthy coasts, which is why I'm here to talk to you guys. Next slide, please. So one of the things I'm trying to do is sort of break down the ivory tower a bit. You know, academics, I represent this common academics can be really bad about being insulated. But I'm trying to promote partnership, especially with a lot of our communities, to deal with a lot of societal issues, because there's a lot happening in the region. So to just sort of mention some of that, we do a scientific meeting where we're going to actually invite some of the communities to be involved this time. But there are 3 big topics, and I just wanted you guys to know that this is some of the things we're working on. Wind energy, flooding and inundation, and toxins and pollutants, So the next couple slides are a bit sciencey, but I'll go through them really quick. As you all know, the wind farms are coming. There is a lot happening with that. There's a lot of discussion, concern, possibilities. One of the things that I'm trying to help people sort of break through is getting the idea of what we don't know versus what is not known. A lot of what I've heard discussed in the community, we actually have answers to. It's just people here don't know those yet. And for me, it's really funny because I was up in Massachusetts when wind farms went in up there. I'm hearing a lot of the same questions and concerns there. So we're here to talk with people about that. The next thing is flooding and inundation. This is something near and dear to all of us. And actually where I met Sharon and Athena was actually at a flooding and inundation thing sponsored by our Congressman, Murphy and Rouser. The situation here is complex. We have complex flooding, so we have sea level rise, we have stuff coming down the river. We need to be able to predict it. I think this is an area where the Center for Marine Science can sort of act as a leader, help communities out a bit more. Next slide, please. So in this slide, it's a bit hard to see. If you look actually up at the top of the Brunswick and Cape Fear rivers, if you look at this slide and now look at the next slide, you'll see there's a big difference in the water there. And what the difference in these two slides are projections for sea level rise. Most people, when they hear sea level rise, they're thinking about it along coastal ways and seawater. Actually, in this area, the biggest impact of sea level rise is going to be at the river. This has obviously implications for this town as well. And so again, we're just trying to help get on top of it, understand it, predict it, and be able to talk with you all in person. Next slide. One of the ways we're doing this is, and we were just funded for a major drone observatory, so we can fly drones over and look at elevations. Perhaps work with some of your engineers to try to figure some of this out. Next slide, please. And this is sort of just the main one I'll finish on. The other thing people don't think about a whole lot with the flooding, we know we have a PFAS, organic problem in the area. Every time it floods, it does get moved around. Where are they going? What are they doing? This is something else we're doing, and just I think the next slide as well is on PFAS. Yeah, this is a bit wordy, but we've just been funded by the North Carolina cooperative to actually head up some of the data on PFAS. So that's a resource that should be available to community. And with that, I'll stop. It really, Take Your River program. Sorry, thank you, but we can go beyond it. Really, what I just wanted to do was come say hello. So we'd like to partner with you guys. We'd like to work with you. There are a lot of things happening right now between wind farm flooding and inundations and PFAS. I'm just trying to open it up. So thank you.
We appreciate you for that. And, we know the PFAS side of it. We went a 2-year court battle because of those. Trying to highlight it so that the public will understand it is a major concern. And we still don't know what destruction it's doing to our ecosystem, water and us, so we can swim it. So our filter system that has to take the chemicals out of the water. So it's a long battle for us, but luckily we prevailed. Okay, we're gonna have a lot safer drinking water in this area after the first year. So we appreciate you bringing that to our attention. We look forward to working with you, and like I say, with our riverfront that we have and what we're doing there. We're gonna need a lot of insight and some thoughts about it. We're doing the right thing.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. My door is always open. You know how to get a hold of me, so.
Welcome, good, very welcome.
Thank you for your time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to.
I'll make it, and I should have. I have 2 things I need to add to the agenda. Kind of new to this. 2 things I just need to add. I'd like to add in the presentation is the resolution. additional resolution talked about, as well as a storm damage report. Presentations. The first resolution would be, I guess, addition to B. The second is C for storm damage report.
We done that under
Presentation.
reading C. We all have a copy of it.
This item. Anything you want, I'm going to do the resolution. Yeah. Mayor Pro Tem, all right, this is resolution R 2236, the resolution by the Belville Board of Commissioners commemorating the 10-year anniversary of Mike Allen serving as mayor of the town of Belville. Whereas Honorable Mike Allen has served the town of Belville with distinction and outstanding service as mayor from 2012 to 2022, and whereas it is fitting that we should salute those leaders who, through their extraordinary efforts, have distinguished themselves in their community by caring about the safety, protection, and welfare of the citizens. And whereas Mike Allen began its service to the town as a commissioner in 2009 and was sworn in as mayor in 2012. Mike has responded to concerns of the people of the town of Belville, exhibited outstanding community spirit, service, is admired for his willingness to sit down, have a conversation with his constituents and defend fault. And whereas in the last 10 years, the Honorable Mike Allen has helped with the planning and funding to advance our town and all our progress, working to make the Belville Riverwalk a desired family destination in Belville County, opening our new town hall, installing a kayak launch and boat dock, improving several apartment complexes, which are going to increase the population of the town, expanding the Riverwalk, improving the design of multi-use paths, and ensuring that we have access to clean water. While it has taken a lot of time to get these projects in motion in the next few years, we'll see these plans come to fruition. We thank Mike Allen for his willingness to lead and for serving on the Wilmington Government Area Metropolitan Planning Organization and for being a military ocean terminal at Sunny Point Matsu representative. And whereas in addition to serving as the mayor, Mike Allen has also served our residents as captain of the Brunswick County Sheriff's Association and proudly served in law enforcement for over 30 years, continuing to do. And prior to that, served in the U.S. Army as a command sergeant major. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Mike Allen is hereby honored for 10 years of outstanding, dedicated, and exemplary service to the citizens of the town of Belville, North Carolina, resolved this 14th day of November 2022.
Mr. Mayor, before you speak, motion to approve the resolution. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. And I feel pretty humbled by this. They got me bad.
That's the whole idea, man.
Usually I tell you know everything that's going on in the town. Somebody can not get from bottom.
And this symbolizes the time. And it will be an effort out every day, the things that you do with the citizens.
It's so much the same. But one thing I'll say, one thing we all learn, when you get in charge of anything, it really ain't you. I learned one thing the military taught me very well, and this is from some of the generals that, and all of them graduates of West Point. One thing they always taught me, you're only good as the people you have around you. You gotta be a good leader. You got to start it from the top sometimes. But I'm gonna tell you, when you got the people in the town that care about what's going on and your staff that supports you, the job's easy. We get our headaches, but it's nice, even when I had, and I've been through several boards. So, you know, you have challenges in keeping everything coordinated. Anybody that's been in a leadership role know that's just one secret to getting your opinions through and making things happen is called consensus. You don't always get 100% of what you want, but sometimes some is better than nothing. And you keep chipping away. It's like when the rain comes down, eventually it's gonna wear the rock down. It might take a century or two, but it'll happen. But it's been a privilege to serve this town. When I say, when I come out of the military, I had no indication that I want to get involved in politics. But I came, Miss Athena was here then, and I walked in to pay my city taxes. I just retired. I was upset because I was forced into town. I didn't get the answers I wanted, so I wanted to talk to some of the people. They give me the right answer. They said, well, if you don't like it, run. So I did. And I've been here for 10 years. People come in and tell me what I'm going to say. But one thing I have learned, and working with people, is what you make out of it. You put the right ideas out, and you always have the right judgment and the right calls. You can make things happen. And sometimes your personal feelings, you got to put them aside. But what's the best for the all than it is for the one. And if it benefits the people, the town that I represent, that's what I'm gonna go with, whether I agree with it personally or not. I may tell you I don't like it, but if it's what the will of the people, it's gonna happen. And that's one reason, you know, our fights that we've had in this.
So this is taking how long time?
I feel like I'm
From you.
my commission. I'm gonna get good at mine. And it's gonna be honest advice. They're gonna tell me if they think I'm right or wrong. And that's what I like. Same with my town manager and my staff. That's one of the key things to making things happen. That you staff is another thing I learned as a leader in the military, my generals. If I walk in and my staff is sitting there and all the heads look like bobbleheads sitting in the back of your car, you better leave that room. But they don't support you. They'll do whatever you tell them to do. I like free thinkers. I like people to be honest, upfront, give me their opinions, but it might be better than mine. And you go with it. And they always told me as I was coming up the chain, Mike, we're gonna give you a chance to excel. Sometimes that was good, sometimes that wasn't so good. But it's worked out. I'm enjoying my time here. I hope if it's up to the citizens, I get a little bit more time. But it's been enjoyable. I'm still looking for great things here in our town. And especially with our park, our water system, our ecosystem, sir, which we'll be talking with you because we want to expand that. And we need the information to make sure it's done correctly. And gentlemen, I thank y'all, staff, and thank you. And I put it up just here or wait till later. I love that. I know everybody's wondering what I got, so I was it's bad.
It's not. There's that.
That'll make it hurt, because they don't like long town things to do. I still can't believe y'all taught me like it's hard for anybody to get anything over. They may just do something. Not gonna hurt anything.
Hey, you just pull it out straight up. Yeah, pull it slow straight up. Oh, great, yeah.
Now, if it's a puzzle, we get in trouble. I'm bad at puzzles. This is money. See that?
There's a, you got a bottom of it.
That is really nice. I thank y'all so much. I They just here and that'll go in a great place. Well, we can get back to it, John. Dad, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
See, one thing I always realize here most times, it's a rarity you ever catch me when I don't have something to say. I kind of run across, I always, real fast, I'll say one thing. When you look at your livelihood, one reason I love this nation, our country, is because the ability gives you to excel no matter what you want to do, whatever field you go into, whatever walk of life you come to, these opportunities are there if you'll take advantage of them. And I told, used to tell some friends of mine, they come in my office when I was a military leader, and they won't tell me how bad they had it. And I said, I ain't gonna say I had it bad, but I said, I was 13 before I realized I was 4. But I said, the foundation I had as I coming up through my livelihood was strong. I had strong parents that taught me right and wrong, and that was the biggest foundation I needed. And when the Army drafted me, I stayed my 2 years and got out because I hated it. But then I went back in, I spent 28 years. But I learned so much, and not personally, one thing they pushed hard in the military at the time, if you were going to make a career, was education. Education is so important. They kept setting me down saying, Mike, listen, if you're going to stay with this Army, you need to educate yourself. You need to get, push yourself harder. If you're going to stay here and want to get to the top. So I took her advice. I'm a graduate of Indiana University, criminal justice. I have an associate degree in military history. And that's not bad, but as my wife said, it for a redneck country boy. And, but I wouldn't have had that opportunity if it wasn't living in a great nation that offered those opportunities. And I think everybody here, when you look back, you're thankful for what you got. You're thankful for where you come from, you're thankful for your family. But more than that, I'm just thinking about the opportunities I've had in this country. But I've been to 21 countries, and you travel throughout the world, I'll tell you, you like this ground when you set foot back in the USA. And there's some beautiful places in this world, but there's only one home. My home's here. And I couldn't find out a better place to go and a better group of people to work with that I've worked with here in this town. And my staff and the commissioners I've worked with over time, this commissioner group I have now. You got to have goals in front of it, and I think as long as you have goals and opportunities to make things better, it's a good thing. It's a good day to wake up. Every morning I wake up, I walk in my backyard and say, another day in paradise. And you go out and you move forward. And I'd love to hear, and like I say, I want to thank everybody again. That in all these years since I've been out of the military, it's the first time anybody's I've been hit like this, because normally I'm getting chewed out instead of praised. And dang, finally run out of words. Thank y'all so much. Being here, and gentlemen, thank y'all, staff, thank you. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But everything here. Have we made the, is anything else up this? Without the best stuff, okay, we're ready to move in.
Mayor Pro Tem mentioned 10 more years there, and I so moved.
But you know, one thing I do think about, and Doctor, this something I say about even having you here tonight. One thing I've learned over all the time I've had an opportunity to meet great people in this country, our leaders, and leaders throughout the world. And it's an opportunity a lot of people don't get, even a lot of our graduates from college and growing up, they don't get to meet them. And it's a shame, because they have such a vast amount of knowledge that you can learn. And to sit there and be in the same room with them and get to talk with them. No matter where it's political, science, nature. It's all very important what happens to us in this world. We won't stay in this world a long time, way past my generation, other generations. We have to lock onto this. We have to pay attention to what's happening to our environment and everything else going on around us. It's important. So thank you again.
Mayor Pro Tem, you said you had a second item?
Yes, ma'am, the storm damage report.
Okay, so.
It was 6C. Am I supposed to cover it? And you cover it.
I can cover that, just wanted to let you know that we luckily did not sustain any damage from Poland. And, I want to thank the staff for all the preparations that they made, especially the Parks and Recreation and maintenance staff. And we do have a new member with us tonight that we haven't introduced to the public yet, Mr. Jeff Ringwald. Would you stand, please, so that everyone can see who you are? He is our new chief maintenance engineer, and we appreciate all the work that he's doing for us down at the Riverwalk and here at Town Hall. So thank you, Jeff.
He does a great job and he doesn't even complain. And, you know, yeah, thank you so much. You came, you've already become a key part of this town, and we appreciate you being here.
I'm sure it's you. That's it. I'll be quiet.
You got me upset. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get you straight tonight. They went their old business update, under, 7A, update on the Belville BOC project. You want to make some comments? Town manager, or?
Just wanted to let you know that we are diligently working on the covenant for the Riverwalk with Weather Job Mill and with Ms. Adrian Harrington. We anticipate that they would be ready to come in by Thanksgiving. And concurrently, we're also still waiting on a response from the State Historic Preservation Office. So we will forward that information to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I think everybody's aware of that. You know, we added an additional 1,400 feet of walking space on our river walk. We're trying to get people closer to the water, because, you know, the biggest thing is people got to get out there and get close to nature, because so many people don't get the opportunity to see it the way it really should be and is, and understand it more. And I think our kids that are coming up, they love to see it. And when it's explained to them, then it grows. And if it grows, people won't take care of it more. And that is a good thing. And I'm looking forward to the project getting started when we put that first contract out and it goes. And hopefully we're going to extend our park system even further over to Eagle Island. But I want it open up to the public, not disturb it, but so people can come over and see it and feel it. So I'm looking forward to it. So thank you so much for that. Okay, we have any comments about upcoming events, improvement?
Sure. We just had our well-attended successful fall festival. The event once again paid for itself and more with the vendor fees, raffles, 50/50, and gracious donations we received from two different companies. The Halloween movie night, we're gonna move it earlier in the month. I think there's too much going on at that time. We did get a big crowd that night. So we're working on moving that night. We quickly approaching our first Christmas craft fair. And it's gonna be followed by our annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony, December 3rd. We just had a new tree installed, so we're gonna have the tree lighting up near the pavilion this year, so it makes it a little bit easier. And we're ready to light it up again this year, so, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and, like I say, with everything we're doing in the park, and, even some of them have historical significance that we're trying to highlight, you know, by doing research. I had an individual real fast that asked me one time where Belville got its name from. Being the mayor, it's hard when you say, I don't have a clue. So I think the political word I said, I'll get back with you. So I found out that the history of our town started during the Revolutionary War. And after the Revolutionary War ended, this land here was broken up. You call the Belville plantation, covered about 12,000 acres. A portion of where our park is was given to General Benjamin Smith. He was an adjutant of George Washington in the Revolutionary War. He was also a person that's heavily involved in creating and supporting UNC, University of North Carolina, as well as Alfred Moore. And through that part, we were building it to get recognition for it. Also, we found that one of the first skirmishes of the Revolutionary War was between the school and where the river is. It was the loyalists against North Carolina militia, or called patriots. There was 100 involved, 12 costing their life, 30 were wounded. But the historical significance of where it happened and the description it gives and our outbuildings that we found and uncovered tie right into that. And the maps we have found through the archives. So we want to get recognition in that, and not only a place of beauty to go to watch, but look about the native side of our environment. So now we have a Native American festival. We have the historical for the Revolution. We have a pirate festival. So we're building in, not only we want people to enjoy it, but learn the history of our area. And it's educational as well as you come down and enjoy yourself. That's what we're trying to build in our parks. And that's the reason when I first came here, my town manager told me we didn't own the park. I was very upset. But I took care of that and we got it back. So it's been one of the best things happened to our town, and we invited everybody to come down to it. Any other comments?
Yeah, underneath that section, there is a recreation assistant in McLeod, who's done a proposal, food truck rodeo. You can cover that?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Steve.
yeah. You'll see, in front of you, is a proposal for the first annual Belville food truck rodeo. So this is one of the many new programs / events that, we like to try to bring for the department. If you go through it, you'll see, I've kind of laid it out fully of what it could be like. Basically, I thought about doing this in Winterville, where I came from, before I left there. So I didn't have a chance to put it in play there. So, but I thought it'd be a good idea to bring one to Belville. There's not really one on this side of the bridge that I know of. And being able to create one, bring one here to our park, I think would be great for our town. This lays out, there's 3 different layouts that I came up with. We could definitely do more. This is just a broad summary of what this could be like. Looking at either the spring of 23 or the fall of 24 to start this, or when I get the okay to pass it up the chain. That was my goal for this, and I have in the very back the future possibilities for this event. If it is successful, to upgrade the event to possibly making it a festival, or 2-day festival, from doing a Saturday for 5 hours and then a Sunday for 5 hours, bringing in multiple live performances, DJ, bringing in more children's games, eventually bringing in and making it for craft vendors for the adults while they're there. But I wanted to try to create something that is new to the northern part of Brunswick County and new for Belleville, to help us put us on the map more. I wanted to bring to you guys and, everybody with the town and see, what you guys thought. This lays out basically what I'm gonna try to do with it, for the department. So it's there for everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Thank you, and any, questions?
No, it looks good. I mean, I know when we does all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like your preliminary layouts. It's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, because we talked about it, and we have Jim and I have a list of, I've created one of about 50 food trucks that we can reach out to and try to get on this. My goal is just to grow it big for this side, and it just draws more people to our park. So
I have a friendly fire marshal, has a list of all of the trucks. Need that.
perfect.
Ian, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But, Ian has, how long you been with us now, Ian?
5 months.
But, he's been a great asset, there going on, and, no question, if we got a consensus here, we'll tell, staff, go ahead, go forward with, food truck right here, we good with that. Town manager, Ian, we approve of this strongly, and look forward to y'all going forward to make it happen.
Yeah.
Keep us abreast of what's happening.
Do you have a time? Do you want a spring or a fall? Is that for you guys?
Yes.
You want both? So my goal was to do one, but I'm more than happy to do a spring and fall. Jim and I can sit down and talk, but I'm more than happy to do both.
Let's try one, I think, as we come out, of course, we don't have the winters like everybody else, but I think if it would approve, I think springtime will be good, that's good, open up to people.
Yeah, this is the first time.
See how it goes.
See how much work you got to do to get it together.
Okay.
I think if you can get it together by spring, and spring goes really well, then you have plenty of time to come down to the fall.
You got it. Cool. That'll work.
We good with that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Appreciate
man.
it.
You're welcome, guys.
Town manager, any comments on?
So I just want to thank, Ian and Jim and the whole park staff for their hard work. I really appreciate all of the investment.
They work hard, but it's, one thing we've tried to do is we've really tried to use our park system, not to highlight just because of the town. The natural surroundings we have here, and that river that we have the only really public access for almost 35 miles on this river. And I think it's essential that we keep highlighting it, that the public can come out and enjoy it for ever how many years in the future they deem that we can have, and I hope it goes on way after me and keeps improving. So thank you. Okay, any other events or?
Yes, Commissioner Long wanted to talk about adopting a resolution for the designated director. In a second. Go ahead, just make sure that Commissioner Long got the credit for it. Very proud of it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I just, in all seriousness, there's been a lot of work been done, by many, working around the park and with the park as well as with the town. And this just is a way just to acknowledge the work that went into the Dragonfly Pond, and the work that's been done and will continue to be done as we work, to do what we can to be as environmentally friendly as possible. So certainly just grateful for that opportunity.
And I think, what we're looking at is, we have talked with people in Maine, and we're gonna buy the dragonflies from them.
No, we get them from North Carolina. We found the source in North Carolina.
Yeah, actually, they updated, it's gonna be in North Carolina. It's much more cost effective.
And they're adapted to this area, so it's much better.
So, well, the thing I'm home behind this one. Anyway, we're getting dragonflies, and we're gonna try to get them introduced strongly within our park system and use the natural way of getting rid of rain. See how it works out. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Okay, we have a resolution. David, you want to read this resolution?
Yes, sir. This is resolution R 22-30, resolution by the Belville Board of Commissioners designating dragonfly as the official insect for the town of Belville. Whereas the Belville Parks and Recreation Board has found eco-friendly ways to mitigate the mosquito population at the Belville River Park by creating a dragonfly pond. And whereas the Belville Parks and Recreation Board proposed a project plan to introduce dragonfly nymphs at the pond site and create a habitat with desirable vegetation, which will allow feeding, roosting, and breeding of the nymphs as the nymphs mature. And whereas the dragonflies will not only beautify the park by their presence, but will be an eco-friendly solution to solving the mosquito problem without chemical spraying. Whereas basically submittal of the dragonfly project resting on the Riverwalk, the Parks and Recreation Board hereby proposes the dragonfly be named the official town insect. Will be a great addition and educational tool in the park and will symbolize helping our environment. The characteristics of the dragonfly are similar to Belville, while it may be small, its unique coloration gives it a brilliant iridescence, and they are also known as being transformational, adaptable, and conspicuous in flight. I think that pretty well sums up our town. Now therefore be it resolved that the Belville Board of Commissioners hereby designate the dragonfly as the official insect of the town of Belville, resolved this 14th day of November 2022.
Any other comments?
I just want to add that I'm really proud of the fact that we're really trying to make sure we maintain green space. That we're trying, you see so much development happening around here, and that's why we're really trying to dig our heels in to make sure that we have a place by the river where people can enjoy and get away from, I guess, quick growth that we're having. So thank you for that, Dave. Thank you for pushing back to that. Thanks, Rick.
Okay, all in favor, pass the resolution 22-30.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you. And I'm looking forward, I hate that we, had to give up the portrait, but I think we're gonna have, Madam Town Manager, have we got any more portraits of the dragonfly?
Yes, we did have 2 portraits currently. Ms. Wheeler is, an option.
I want to hang on to a couple of them, hang up.
I think,
You have them. And I have to buy this.
We can commission a local artist to do an official portrait for the town hall, and I'm sure they would do that. For us.
Okay, that sounds good. I'd like to have one with contained in our lobby. Make the thing of it. Okay, another great day. I enjoyed that. Okay, now good item D, street repairs, drainage, and, Madam, who's, Jeff, you gonna handle that, or?
Can give a quick update on that.
Okay, sir.
They're continuing to make beginnings of progress on Gregory Road repairs. They've been putting in the stormwater infrastructure, getting the drainage swales graded out. There hasn't been any actual asphalt work yet, but according to the schedule that Wooten had put out, they're gonna be doing the majority of the work in December. So they showed pretty much finishing the project by the end of this year, with some few weeks after that to close everything out, get the most out of it. So, or as far as I know, they're still relatively on schedule. I'll need to get a follow-up from who's engineer in the near future on where they stand with all that, but, as far as I know, everything's moving forward.
Yeah, I rode over there and looked at it today, and they're moving on pretty good.
One comment I do want to make, I did a site visit just before coming to this meeting. They got the drainage swale, that heads to State Employees Credit Union. According to the plans, they're showing that swale draining to that area. That water, as far as I can tell, is getting trapped, right near the State Employees Credit Union. There's not a way for it to continue to move towards the DOT road, so that.
If you cannot, can you engage them and then give us feedback on what they say?
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Any other comments? Yeah. We have an update from Great Fox Court.
And Jeff, there's the Great Fox.
Great Fox, we got some estimates. There's a dip at the end of Great Fox where they think it's an eroding pipe going underneath the street. And we got a couple estimates of replacing that pipe and then patching the asphalt. We also have another spot further in Great Fox where an HGO sewer line goes straight across the street and it's really dipping bad there. We had HGO go out and check it out, but they haven't given us a report yet of if they can do anything for us or if it's on us. So I'm gonna hear back from Bob Walker.
Okay, any other?
Speed humps. I can do a few comments on speed humps real quick.
Go ahead, sir.
So following up on the site meeting we had a few weeks ago, on Kingsworth Lane, we're contemplating adding some speed humps to that road. It was agreed upon on site to add one speed hump on the south side of, Norfolk Town Line on Kingsworth Lane. Was a question, open question at the meeting, where to put a second one. And, after looking at that a little bit, my recommendation is to put it, right at Great Fox Court. There was some discussion about putting it south of that, closer toward the other speed bump, we're considering adding, but, Great Fox Court at that location, that's also right where the state maintenance, the NCDOT maintenance ends. So just out of that is where the town's maintenance begins. It would be my recommendation, if there's gonna be a second speed hump to be added, that would be the best spot to put it.
Yeah, put that together. I know we ain't gonna vote on it tonight, but, we can go ahead and take a look at that. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of concern about people speeding on that road and, children out in the road, but at the same time, we look at the side, if we get too many in, your emergency response units, fire trucks and police officers hate getting speed bumps. It can rattle them pretty good sometimes when they're trying to get to a fire or to a call. So we want to make sure that we put them in, one, they're not so severe that, the emergency vehicles can't go over them at a good pace. But at the same time, they'll slow people down. And hopefully we can find that happy medium.
And Jim mentioned also, we also talked about adding a four-way stop there.
Yeah, we'll do a full-way stop at that intersection. I think that's and we gotta make sure those stop signs are certified and stickered, or they cannot be enforced. So, we'll go with that. Thank you, Jeff. Any comments? Okay, I guess I can move to C now. Yes, sir. Okay, under social media update, who's gonna handle that another time now?
We actually have Ms. Harrington on the line and Casey.
Okay. Sounds great.
Adrian, we turn it over to you.
Yes, hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Adrian, we can, go ahead.
Good deal. Well, hello to everyone and, happy early Thanksgiving. I hope you are all doing well and I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. But, for a lot of these meetings, we do project updates. And what I'm really excited to talk to you guys about tonight is a social media update. So if you guys remember, it was maybe a year ago, close to a year ago, that we went over the town's social media efforts. And we looked at, Facebook and Instagram, we talked about Nextdoor, LinkedIn, whatnot. And, we set up some, ideas and parameters for how we wanted to expand the town presence on several social media platforms. And last winter and spring and summer, Carla, who was working with us for a while, she did a little work on it, and then I took it over. And I was starting to see it was one of those things where I could float it, but there was just so much more potential out there. So what I did was I posted a contract position, looking for a social media expert on LinkedIn. And I got a ton of responses within like 2 days. And when I talked to Athena, we were looking for somebody who obviously knew what they were doing, but, preferably somebody that lives nearby, isn't too far away. As you can imagine, being a remote position, technically things can come in all across the world. So we wanted somebody that was close by. And I'm flipping through the applications, and no lie, there was just one that stood out. And I am so excited to tell you guys that I found Casey Smith. So she is on this Zoom meeting with us. I'm gonna let her introduce herself to you guys in just a minute, but I was excited when I found her because she started her own little business back in 2018, similar to what I did. And she has worked with small companies, big companies, startups, nonprofits. She was working with a government agency in Oregon when COVID started, and she was pushing out all of that COVID information for that city. And she does live in North Carolina. So I was super excited to find her. We got to chat, and she sounded like it was a perfect match. So I got on the phone with her, and I showed her some of the documents that we had started, that talked about where we were wanting to take the town on all these different social media platforms. And if you guys have noticed that the town social media posts have gotten a lot snazzier lately, that's because we have agents. So, with all that said, I'm gonna let Casey introduce herself to you guys, and we look forward to working with her more in the future.
Welcome, Casey.
Thank you so much. That was such a lovely introduction. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. My name's Casey Smith. I grew up in North Carolina. I went to Salem, spent some time in Oregon. I'm now currently back in the great state of North Carolina, settled at Boone. Good with my family, have two small kids. But yes, I have done social media, communications, marketing, copywriting, and just general advisement on the platform since 2018, even prior to that. So I'm excited to dive in, use all of the skills that I have to really just bolster and continue the great things you guys have going on with both sharing information, amazing facts, and exciting things about your town, helpful tips, and then of course this baseline things that your citizens and community need to know. So I'm really excited to help and support in any way, and just dig in a little deeper. I started at the very end of October, so just getting my feet wet, but I'm ready to kind of take everything to the next level. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Casey, we appreciate you jumping in and becoming part of the family, and we'll look at you that way. And Adrian, she's a great lady, and we're proud to have her as well, as long as she's been with us and stayed with us to help move the town forward. And I look forward to you being part of that family, and I know without any doubt, you'll help us move forward also. And thank you so much. Staff, Commissioner, any comments?
Okay, this is Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to add that I'm really excited because social media is one of the things that I really was pushing when I first got elected. And I know Adrian's done great, and I have seen the post, Casey, and I do see how nice they're becoming. So any suggestions you have or any ideas, we are definitely open to it. Once again, just thank you for agreeing to be part of the town of Belville.
And this is,
Thank you guys.
this is David. I'm one of the commissioners seated just beside the Mayor Pro Tem. We had a great presentation tonight from the chair of the Marine Science Center at UNCW. It would be great to, with all the right permissions, to be able to link to the research and work that's being done there. When people come on our site, again, my uncle is very involved in wind energy at the beach, and I know a little bit about this, and so being able to link to the work that the chairman presented tonight might be good just to help all the way around. So, anything like that we can continue to do with UNCW or other institutions as appropriate for our statute, tier 2 regulations, that'd be wonderful.
Thank you for that. Any other comments? I say, welcome to the family. Look forward to working with you. And Casey, we thank you so much for wanting to join our team. Adrian, thank you also for finding her. So we're looking forward to it. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
You want to make any comments?
Looking forward to, continued success. You can see from the newsletter also that was sent out this month, Casey has been working really hard to try to reorganize that. And engage. Engage public. Thank you.
And that's important, because if we don't get our message out, it falls on deaf ears. And in today's world, everything going on, you got to have something that people want to read, it's entertaining, but it's also education. And, I like the changes. I think it's a great idea. Thank y'all. Any other comments before we move on? If not, on the regular agenda, under item A, the vacancy for the ABC board. Madam Town Manager, will make some comments on that. I know we're gonna move that to, advertise, and then, I think you got on January 11th.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, staff request authorization to advertise the position for Ms. Talita Alexander. This would be her second time that she reapplies to the ABC board. Also accepting applications from any other candidates in Brunswick County that may be interested in applying.
Okay, without any, motion, I have consensus from the board that let them go post the vacancy. Madam Town Manager, move on with that, we'll wait till January. Okay, moving on to, item 9B, I'm gonna let you mention some of this before I get into the resolution. I know the basis of it, but, you've been strictly involved with it. I think you put it out a little bit better than I can.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Recently, the town approved that we would guidance regarding the record rescue fund. The federal government and the Office of the State Treasurer have requested that we adopt 5 policies to be sure that the funds are being handled consistently. And all towns are requested that have received money have been requested to adopt these policies. So we present them to you tonight. We did have our town attorney review them, and he did not see any issue with it. So as far as I know, in our area, the town of Charlotte, as well as the town of Prairie Beach, have also just recently adopted these policies. We did attend a training session in the town of Wallace last month. And there are some other items that we will also need to work on and bring back to you in the month of December.
Like you say, basically, federal dollars do have strings attached to them, and certain guidelines we have to adhere to. And, sir, town attorney, if I make this motion wrong, you tell me, sir. I'd like to get a motion that we accomplish all the resolutions together. I will name them all. They're very lengthy, and I don't see reading in detail. They're on the same subject. So it's not a problem. I'd like to have a motion. We pass resolution 22-33, 22-34, 22-35, R22-36, and R22-37. Can I have a motion to accept these resolutions?
And before we do that, I just wanted to check, what was the resolution number that we did regarding the 10-year anniversary of your service? Mayor?
We can add that resolution as 22-38.
Okay. But that was what I wanted to do, because that was March 36, 236.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion to accept these resolutions. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Under 9C, the 2023 regular meeting calendar discussion. And I'll open up to you commissioners if y'all have any issues with the calendar.
No, sir.
If you're satisfied with the calendar, I'm gonna need the motion that we accept it as it is.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. We accept the calendar for 2023. Today we're moving forward. Okay, moving on to the last item number number 9. That'll be the transportation update. Basically, we get on there, we know what our two plans, if we saw it in our, information we have here, showing that we have 2 multi-path projects that would more than likely, if we're based on what in December, possibly. The DOT project, that we're having a widening road here going down to, before we get to the school. That project's been pushed back to January, but it's currently supposed to start by the end of this year. It's only been moved back to right after the first of the year. So somewhere, latter part, somewhere in January, the state will give a release on when they're gonna start that project, start date. So that's good. So that means we're on track, and with all the changes that are happening, like I told you before, a lot of the projects that have been approved because of the COVID era, cost went up. So a lot of the projects are getting changed. Some projects we're losing, that funding is taken back to more priority approving projects for New Hanover, Wellington, Pender, and Brunswick County, and for the towns encompassed in that. So some hard decisions are being made. We're fortunate in our town, we didn't get any projects dropped. We did have to get an approval for additional funding because it goes up, that was approved. So I'm looking forward to our multi-path being built, designed, and our road being wide. So that's a good thing. Any comments from any commissioners? Staff, y'all have any comments? Okay, well, now we come to the one that everybody hates to hear. We're going to close session under item 10, North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A3. Consult the attorney including litigation and North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11. A4 to discuss matters relating to the location, expansion of industries. So if we feel like to stay, we'll make a decision. If we make a decision, that'll be revealed when we come back out. If not, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Doctor, we appreciate your time. Does Bay, we look forward to having a lot more communication with you. And if there's anything we can do to assist, please let us know.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. But I have a motion to go into closed session.